Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to share 5 lessons that I learned this past year. And man, can we just agree that 2020 has been a very unique and a challenging year, and it would be such a waste of a year if we went into 2021 without learning anything. But hey, if this is your first time here, my name is Tim and I'm a pastor here in New Jersey, and some of these lessons are faith related and some are not. And so even if you're not a believer, I do think that these lessons will be of some value to you. And so with that said, let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. And lesson number 1 is that crisis reveals character or the lack of character. Now, regardless of what your profession is, we are all actors and actresses. And let me explain to you what I mean by this. We are skilled in the art of projecting a certain image of ourselves. We are really good at hiding our mess and our flaws and our insecurities by simply putting on a fake smile. But nothing reveals who we are better than our hardship and trials. You see, when the pressure is on, the mess and the cracks that are inside of us are slowly exposed. And so crisis reveals more than we care to admit. So if you're naturally a selfish person, then this whole pandemic just brought out even more selfish tendencies in yourself. So you're probably far more concerned with self-preservation. But on the other hand, if you're more of a selfless person, then you probably ask yourself, how can I help other people during this pandemic? And so the first lesson that I've learned is that crisis reveals who we are. Crisis reveals our character or the lack of character. Lesson number 2 is it's not good for people to be alone. You know, when America first had its lockdown, everything shut down, from the schools, churches, restaurants, and everyone was forced to stay in. And I'll be completely honest, in the very beginning, I actually had no problem with it because me being a severe introvert, I've been quarantining from people my entire life. I have no friends. But as time went on, even me being a severe introvert, I craved human connection and human interaction. And the reason is because we were created to be in relationship and communion with other people. Genesis 2:18 says this, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." So in the creation story, after God created the heavens and the earth, there was one thing that he declared that was not good, and that was isolation and loneliness. Now let's think about this for a minute. Adam literally lived in paradise. There was no sin, no death, and no coronavirus. He had an unlimited supply of food and water. He had front row seats to the best views that nature could offer. Yet even living in paradise, there was still something off, and that was the lack of human connection and interaction. And that's why God created Eve to be Adam's friend and companion. And so that desire that we have to be with people is a good thing because God designed it that way. And lesson number 3 is that uncertainty is the only certainty that we have. Now, can we agree that uncertainty has been the theme of 2020? I mean, we can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone what's going to happen in the next hour. I mean, back in March, we were able to go to restaurants, schools, churches, bars, but all that changed literally overnight. Uncertainty makes us uncomfortable because most of us, we like to plan out our days and our weekends and our years, and we like to be in control, but none of that happened in the year 2020. But I think that the quicker that we embrace the reality of uncertainty in our lives and in the world, the more secure we will be because it forces us to turn to God for stability. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in this Bible verse, and even though it's overused a lot, nonetheless it still rings true for us today. And it says this, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." And lesson number 4 is the world needs more compassion. Okay, everyone has issues. I have issues, you have issues, and 2020 only accelerated those issues. I mean, people are hurting, people are suffering, people lost loved ones, people lost money, people lost their jobs, and so on. And we don't have the solutions to people's problems. And even though I may not have the solution to other people's problems, what I've learned is that at the end of the day, people simply want to be heard. And this is why I do believe believe and I think that compassion and empathy is a superpower. And compassion and empathy can go a very long way in helping people sort out their issues and their problems. And I think right now, compassion is so needed in our nation. So lesson number 4, we need to show more compassion. And lesson number 5 is appreciate the people in your life. And this kind of goes back to lesson number 3, but man, we really don't know when our time will be up. I mean, we lost some very notable people in the year 2020. For example, we lost Kobe Bryant and we lost Chadwick Boseman. I mean, one day they're with us and the very next day they're gone. And this is a very sobering reminder to you and to me, and that is that our lives are temporary and fleeting. God can give, but he also can take away. And this could be disheartening for a lot of people, but at the same time, I think it brings clarity and it helps us focus on what's truly important. You see, money and possessions and just stuff that we accumulate in our lives, they can be recovered when we lose them. But people and the relationships that God has placed in our lives don't necessarily work that way. And so my final lesson is, be grateful and appreciate the people that God has placed in your life, because you never know when their time or even your time will be up. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure you hit that like button down here or somewhere around here if you enjoyed this video. Thanks, take care, and God bless.